Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have another interesting episode for you guys, so make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So, as y'all are fully aware, Patrick Beverley is one of the toughest guys in the NBA that we got going, right? He's one of these guys that will get in your face. As you know, he plays with a lot of ferocity. You know, he's one of these guys that if he's on a basketball court, he's going to tell you exactly, what he thinks. And Patrick Beverley seems to be a guy that has this like tell it like it is type of attitude, right? If he's one of your friends and you ask him what he thinks, he's definitely going to tell you what he thinks. And also he's known, obviously, apart from that, for being a great all NBA level defender. So we know that about Patrick Beverley. And ever since he made his debut on ESPN First Take, he pretty much has continued being Patrick Beverley, right? Ever since, the moment he got to the network, he immediately created fireworks with his comments about Chris Paul, with the way with his level of candor and his willingness to pretty much, Patrick Beverley be talking to you, be staring you dead in your face, like what did I say wrong? He's like, if you say something like, no, I need a clarification, please, can you clarify? Okay, just want to be sure. So Patrick Beverley, that type of dude, and some people like it, some people don't. I think is quite entertaining. And as y'all know, there's been a debate kind of raging around NBA circles about the potential of, the NBA, shortening its calendar, shortening the season, right? And originally, Richard Jefferson was the guy that made some headlines with his rant that he had on ESPN. And I think that video now has well over 1 million views or so, around 1 million views. And a lot of people enjoyed it, and a lot of people agreed with some of the things that Richard Jefferson had to say, including me. And recently we had CJ McCollum and JJ Redick on the show together with Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and they basically gave their thoughts. So yesterday, they asked Patrick Beverley what he thought about the NBA potentially shortening the season, and I was very surprised to hear what he had to say. So for those of you who missed the comments that Patrick Beverley had to make about the NBA considering shortening the season, take a listen to what he had to say here. We're going to come back and react to that. So take a listen to that.
All right, Pep, I'm starting with you. You're the current player here. Tell me this. What changes should the NBA make to the regular season?
Nothing. I believe this league is perfect the way it is. When Michael Jordan played, I don't believe hearing him complain. So why should we? I understand that, people talk about risk of injury, but 82 games does give you a chance to heal from injuries also. 82 games give you a chance to travel around the best country in the world. To see your friends and family. So 82 games, league is perfect. No need to change anything. Sometimes the teams, like, I don't know how many Laker games there were last year, but it was a ton. Like, the NBA is growing fast, and people want to see new product. And I'm not saying that the Lakers are old product, but people want to see these young guys. People want to see new guys, and
right.
And when you talk about teams playing each other, the NBA has to do a better job of putting more teams out on TV.
First of all, I got to say bravo to Patrick Beverley, man. Bravo, bravo, bravo. I'm with you. I'm in lockstep with you. I agree. I agree with everything that he said. And I think he's one of the few players out there that have come out there and said that. We recently did a video. We did a show. We produced a show probably about 2 days ago or so. And I basically said the same thing. I said, wait a minute. I never heard Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant complain about the NBA schedule. So why are some of these guys complaining about it? If they didn't complain about it, please help me understand. Why are you? Like those guys, the schedule was good enough for them. So why isn't it good enough for you? Especially in the modern day, right? So I said that, and I'm very happy that Patrick Beverley brought up that point. So I was like, I didn't understand why guys are complaining. And in fact, it was something that Kobe Bryant seemed to be against as well. And when Kobe made his last, when Kobe Bryant did his last interview on ESPN First Take, when they had Max Kellerman, they actually asked him about this, about resting unnecessarily and all of these things. So for those of you who missed what Kobe Bryant had to say, I think he said some insightful things. So we want to play some of his comments and really unpack this video and get into what we want to get to. So take a listen to what Kobe Bryant had to say about sitting out games and the potential, just the fact this whole issue around rest. So take a listen to that.
Kobe, what's your take on players, though, resting when healthy? Because I think you could do a nice story on that and teach some lessons to the younger generation.
I kind of put it in there in the Kansas City opening jingle. I kind of put it in there a little bit about no days off, no time to rest.
But in terms of the integrity of the game or the competitiveness of the game?
Well, here's the problem. The problem is, for a family who spends their hard-earned money to come and watch their favorite players play, and they show up and the player's not playing. That's the tough part. I felt like if you could play, if you can play, you should go out there and play.
If a coach said to you, "You're not playing," would you have had an issue with it?
Well,
they're saying
honestly,
that it
I've
can be
never.
the coach's decision.
Yeah, I've never been approached by a coach and asked me to rest. I think they knew better than that.
Well, to me, what resonates, and I'm not going to belabor this subject, but what resonates to me about players sitting down, it's one thing if you're not playing. It's another thing when you announce to the world it's because of rest, while you're dressed in street clothes, chilling on the bench, smiling and laughing with your teammates when the fans came to see you play and you're a marquee and you're not there.
Listen, you can build your game differently, right? And I think, one of the things I learned from MJ is on second nights of back-to-backs, when it's fourth game, 5 nights, whatever the case may be, the game would alter. Right? He changed his game a little bit. I might be on the perimeter the first 2 games. Now I'm going to slide down to the post. I'm going to play a little closer to the basket. I'll play off the ball a little bit more. Right? So there are ways where you can kind of alter your game, where you can get rest within the game, but still be efficient.
What do Kobe and Patrick Beverley have in common? I think the one thing that Kobe Bryant and Patrick Beverley have in common is that they're both, in case of Kobe those guys are just mentally tough, right? They're mentally tough guys. And I think that they're these guys, they're just like rough riders, man. They're like, okay, if the road is tough, we understand that. Let's just get to it. They understand it's going to be an arduous process. Okay, let's just get to it. Right? They're like, okay, let's just do it. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Let's just do it. That's the kind of thing that I think Kobe Bryant and Patrick Beverley have in common. And let me say this, and I think it's important that I say this, and I think it's important for me to say this for my credibility. Okay, let me say this. Y'all know Kawhi Leonard is my favorite player, but it really used to annoy me. It used to irk me when I would see Kawhi Leonard sitting out games for no apparent reason. People used to call him on it, and I agree with those people. Kawhi Leonard used to sit out games for no reason, inexplicably. And you just be sitting there like, Kawhi's playing today, and the next year, Kawhi's out. And like, why? Rest. And I'm like, what? What happened? But then you find out it wasn't an injury. And I think that started during the San Antonio Spurs day, because Kawhi Leonard played although I think he was drafted by the Indiana Pacers, but he played as the first, 5 years or whatever it is of his NBA career with the San Antonio Spurs. And Greg Popovich and these guys were notorious for this, resting players for no apparent reason. And Kawhi Leonard kind of became the face of of load management, and I didn't really like that. And I think I was happy when Ty Lue became the coach of the Los Angeles Clippers, and Ty Lue basically challenged Kawhi Leonard to play consecutive games, to not be sitting out all of these games and all of these different things. And I'm very happy that he challenged him. And I think what Kawhi Leonard discovered was that, hey, wait a minute, I can play all of the games. I can play all of the available games. That's what Kawhi Leonard discovered. And it goes back to the point that I made earlier where I'm like, the message you keep telling your mind, when you keep telling your mind you do less, eventually you'll do less. But if somebody brings a different message to you and they say, wait a minute, no, you can do more, you discover that in fact, you can do more. And I said that's one of the things I didn't like about this idea of shortening the NBA season, because I didn't like the messaging it was sending. Some people understood what I was saying. Some people disagreed. To me, I just thought it was ridiculous that Kawhi Leonard would be sitting out inexplicably. And you have a guy like Reggie Jackson who's playing every single game every other night. So to me, it just didn't make sense. And for people to take me seriously, I think it's important that I say that, because why don't you talk about, why don't you make videos about Kawhi? Because Kawhi's not playing. Kawhi Leonard hasn't played a single game all season. So why would I be making videos about Kawhi Leonard? No, we're not doing that. But those are my thoughts as it pertains to Kawhi. And Kawhi's my favorite player, but I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. And that's me saying that about Kawhi Leonard. But back to what Patrick Beverley had to say. I think it was refreshing. And I concur with him. Now, obviously, during that segment as well, Jay Williams obviously said, no, well, if you shorten the season, it can make games more meaningful and whatever. Jay Williams likes the baby guys. I've understood that about Jay. Jay Williams can explain everything away, man. No matter what it is, he can baby guy. That's just him, right? Some people love it. Some people love that. Just not my cup of tea.